The main event of WrestleMania is supposed to be the pinnacle of the industry, the match you talk about for the rest of your life. But sometimes, WWE just shits the bed. Whether it's because of massive egos, terrible booking decisions, zero in-ring chemistry, or open rebellion from the fans, sometimes the show closes with you feeling scammed of your time and money, instead of the satisfaction of entertainment. Today, we are taking a painful trip down memory lane to count down the top 10 worst WrestleMania main events in history. Let's get the bad taste out of our mouths, starting with number 10. At number 10, WrestleMania 2, Hulk Hogan vs. King Kong Bundy in a steel cage. On paper, this was classic 80s booking. The unstoppable force, Hulk Hogan, against the immovable object, King Kong Bundy, trapped inside a cage. The problem was the execution. WWF decided to use these thick, blue steel bars for the cage, which meant the live audience and the people watching at home could barely see what was happening inside the ring. And what was happening wasn't much. It was a slow, like setting a video to 0.25 speed. It was made up of mostly punches and kicks. Furthermore, nobody in the building actually believed Bundy had a chance of ending Hulkamania. It lacked heat, it lacked visibility, and it felt like they were wrestling underwater. Honestly, I fell asleep watching this match. Before we go any further, can you guys just click that like button and let's fucking go. Number 9, WrestleMania 25, Triple H vs. Randy Orton. This is the perfect example of a stipulation completely killing a match. The build-up to this was incredible. It was intensely personal. Randy Orton had systematically attacked every member of Triple H's family. The story screamed for chaotic blood and guts, no disqualification brawl. So, what did WWE do? They added a stipulation that if Triple H got disqualified, he would lose the championship. It made zero sense. It forced two guys in a blood feud to wrestle a cautious, technical wrestling match where the babyface couldn't retaliate. To make matters worse, they had to go on last immediately following the absolute masterpiece that was The Undertaker vs. Shawn Michaels. The crowd was exhausted, and this match never stood a chance. Number 8, WrestleMania 11, Bam Bam Bigelow vs. Lawrence Taylor. Listen, credit where credit is due. NFL legend Lawrence Taylor performed better than almost any other celebrity in wrestling history, and Bam Bam Bigelow worked an absolute miracle to carry him to a passable match. But this is about principle. A celebrity match, no matter how much mainstream press it gets, should never, ever go on last over the World Heavyweight Championship match. The actual title match that night between Diesel and Shawn Michaels was shoved to the semi-main event slot. By putting the celebrity on last, it told the world that the company's top prize was secondary to a publicity stunt. But I could argue this type of crap wouldn't happen today. But we all watched WrestleMania 42, didn't we? Number 7, WrestleMania 13, The Undertaker vs. Psycho Sid. If you're struggling to remember this match, don't feel bad. Most people do. That's because the real main event in the fans' hearts happened earlier that night, the submission match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. By the time Taker and Sid got to the ring, the energy in the building was gone. These two big men had absolutely zero chemistry together. It was clumsy, it was slow, and it just felt like they were killing time. The crowd was dead silent for most of it, basically just waiting for Bret Hart to run and so something interesting would finally happen. Number 6, WrestleMania 8, Hulk Hogan vs. Sid Justice. This one is infamous not so much for the wrestling, but for the absolute disaster of an ending. It was supposed to be a standard Hogan victory sequence. Hogan hits the leg drop, goes for the pin, and Papa Shango does a run-in to break it up, causing a DQ. Simple, right? Well, Papa Shango missed his cue. He was late running to the ring, so Hulk Hogan hit his finish. The referee counted 1, 2, and Sid Justice had to kick out of the legendary leg drop just to keep the match going. It was a massive taboo at the time. The referee had to awkwardly improvise a disqualification moments later. I seriously wonder how many cuss words Vince McMahon was throwing around that night anyway. We are halfway through the cringe. Number 5, WrestleMania 32, Roman Reigns vs. Triple H. By 2016, the WWE audience was aggressively, loudly rejecting Roman Reigns' push as the top babyface hero. Yet, the company refused to pivot. They marched headfirst into this main event in front of over 100,000 people in Dallas. The show had already been dragging on for nearly 7 hours. The crowd was delirious. Then, they gave us a nearly 30-minute, slow-paced main event. It was a slog, and when the supposed good guy, Roman Reigns, finally won the title, the stadium almost blew the roof off with boos. It felt like the creative direction was completely out of touch with reality. Number 4, WrestleMania 33, The Undertaker vs. Roman Reigns. We stay with Roman Reigns for number 4. Look, this match wasn't bad because of malice or politics. It was bad because it was just sad to watch. The Undertaker is the greatest WrestleMania performer of all time, but going into this match, he was in desperate need of hip surgery. He could barely move. Watching a genuine legend struggle physically to perform basic moves was more depressing than entertaining. There were several botched spots, including a failed tombstone reversal that looked incredibly dangerous. Even Roman Reigns has admitted that this match fell way short of what it should have been, and The Undertaker was disgusted by his own performance. Oh well, they said it all. Number 3, WrestleMania 34, Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar. If you want to see what an open fan mutiny looks like, watch this match. The New Orleans crowd had sat through a long show, and when this main event started, they decided they'd had enough. They hijacked the entire segment. They chanted boring. They chanted for other wrestlers. They played with beach balls in the crowd. The match itself did nothing to win them back. It had zero psychology. It was just Brock hitting F5s and Roman hitting Superman punches over and over again. It was finisher spam. To top it off, after a full year of building Roman up to finally conquer the beast, Lesnar just won out of nowhere, rendering the entire year-long storyline completely pointless. Oh well, we're getting near the bottom of the barrel now. Number 2, WrestleMania 27, The Miz vs. John Cena. This was barely even a match. It was a 20-minute commercial for next year's WrestleMania. The Miz went into this show as the WWE champion, but he was treated as a complete afterthought in his own main event. The entire focus was on the host of WrestleMania, The Rock, and his issues with John Cena. The booking was horrendous. The match originally ended in a double count out at WrestleMania before The Rock restarted. Rock then immediately laid out John Cena, essentially handing the win to The Miz. Miz was just a prop in someone else's story. And finally, the absolute shit of shits of sports entertainment. Number 1, WrestleMania 9. Hulk Hogan vs. Yokozuna. This is widely considered the worst creative decision in the history of the business. The advertised main event was Bret Hart defending the title against the new, unstoppable monster heel, Yokozuna. Yokozuna cheated to beat Bret and win the title. Okay, fine. But then, Hulk Hogan, who wasn't even in the title picture, marched down to the ring to check on Bret. Yokozuna's manager, Mr. Fuji, foolishly issued an immediate challenge. Hogan accepted, ducked some salt thrown by Fuji, and pinned the brand new champion in 22 seconds. In less than half a minute, it destroyed Yokozuna's credibility as a monster, and it made the company's current top star, Bret Hart, look like a total sidekick. It was all done just to stroke Hogan's massive ego one last time before he left the company. It was politics at its absolute worst, and it remains the gold standard for shitty WrestleMania main events. What do you think is the undisputed worst Mania main event? Did I miss one that you absolutely hated with a passion? Well, this is actually part 1 though. If you enjoyed this painful trip down memory lane, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more wrestling content. Thanks for listening.